Hey, 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 you all. How are you? How are you? How are you? This is Latanya Washington of the Customer Culture, LatanyaWashington.com, and Tilt, the International List Tour. This year, it is that will happen in the Los Angeles area. I am excited this afternoon because I have with me a great friend, and that is Constance Moonzwe. And of course, we know her as an individual who is up on finances. She is up on staffing and employment and helping so many people, even I would say, get across the bridge. Because so many times we're trying to figure out what is my purpose? What am I supposed to do? How do I even get there? And what are the many streams that will help me bring in income? As well as me, Constance, she's helped so many individuals when it comes to reading books and not just self-help books, but all things when it comes to business and improving you and helping you get to the next level. And so I am so excited that we are here this afternoon because not only do you all have the opportunity to get more information, but I do too. And that is what it is all about while we are here. I'm hoping that you all are doing great things. You're safe. You're keeping yourself safe. You're keeping your family together. And you're eating right. You're boosting your immune system and you're taking great care of yourself. And so, without further ado, welcome to the live stream, Constance. How are you this afternoon
Hi.
or this
Good,
evening?
Latanya. So
Depends
good
on
to
where people
see
are.
you.
I know. I'm excited. I'm so glad you are with us this afternoon.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, and so let's kind of delve into it right away because as you already know, I'm not an individual that likes to waste time. And so we were
Right.
talking about money moves and how
Hmm.
we, especially during this pandemic, are able to still take care of ourselves and are
Right.
able to still have some type of income coming through. And so,
Right.
first of all, let's talk about that. I think what I want to do is I want to deal with this stimulus package. And so many people are waiting for their money, and so many people are trying
Right.
to, with small businesses. Let's talk about that. Share some light on that for us this afternoon, first and foremost.
Right. I mean, so the stimulus package, I would say, Latanya, our audience for purposes of this discussion are going to be a lot of independent contractors, solo entrepreneurs. And so when we talk about the Paycheck Protection Program, that was geared towards organizations that had 500 employees or less. Our audience, for the most part, may not fit into that category, so they would be sort of on the second phase of this funding bill. So the first phase was obviously to immediate relief for organizations that have 500 employees or less. Now, W-2 employees. There was a lot of confusion at first as to if independent contractors would qualify. And in this first round, I just spoke to Bank of America. In this first round, it's not targeted for independent contractors. But the second round, which should be announced in the next week or so, should be an opportunity where an independent contractor can actually, or a solopreneur can apply for funding under the same program. So it seems like it's going to be a phase out when it comes to the government assistance. And another thing that I wanted to sort of just clarify is that a lot of entrepreneurs went for that emergency disaster loan that advertised it as $10,000, right? And a whole bunch of people we know apply for that. Well, that is actually a loan against the Paycheck Protection Program. They're not the same. They're actually almost tied together from a funding perspective, and it's geared to offset the cost of the employee. So basically, they would, under the emergency disaster program, are giving individuals like $1,000 per employee. So I know a whole bunch of us folks went to apply for that emergency disaster, and in that first phase, most independent contractors, solo entrepreneurs are not going to qualify unless they were on W-2 income. The hope is in the next week or
Mm.
two, independent contractors and solo business owners should be able to apply for funding, but not in the phase that is being rolled out right now.
Okay, so in the next phase, so that's a good thing for some people who didn't even go for that, but there's another phase
Right.
that's coming through for them.
Exactly. So there'll be another phase
Okay.
where, I mean, and to be honest, there's a lot of misinformation out there. Even the banks are not clear. Like, for example, I did have a conversation with Bank of America because my business has both W-2 employees and 1099. And so in my discussion with Bank of America, they told me that in this phase, independent contractors are not covered, but they're hoping that in the next phase. So for the independent contractor, solo entrepreneur, just hold on tight. Hopefully the goal is that relief will be coming
Okay.
in the next few weeks as it
Okay. In the
relates to
next
the
few weeks.
government
So
program.
then, what
But
do you say about those? Mhm. Okay. Okay. Go right on ahead, Constance.
no, no. So, like, but to echo what you and I discussed, is that most independent contractors, solo entrepreneurs should be filing for unemployment. And it's really, I think, disheartening that a lot of independent contractors, solo entrepreneurs are not filing for unemployment. If your income has been impacted in any way, say, for example, you used to sell mittens and you can't sell mittens anymore, you can qualify for unemployment. So you don't have to be a W-2 employee to qualify for unemployment. You can be an independent contractor or a solo entrepreneur and qualify for unemployment. So that should be what every independent contractor is doing right now. Every solo entrepreneur is doing right now. If you're on 1099 income, you should be filing for unemployment if your income has been impacted in any way.
Right. So that's for you guys. Do know, file for unemployment, whether you have, like you said, W-2, your 1099, file for it because it's out there for self-employed people and it's coming, it will come. It's automatic, it's consistent. Just fill it out. You can literally go online and get it done. And that way you're not hoping, quote unquote, hoping to receive a loan or a grant from for the small business, that one coming through. So understand, like she all said, you guys, there's another phase that's coming in a couple of weeks as well. All right, so now Constance, now too, for us, especially as entrepreneurs, and I think this is the opportune time, especially while so many people are home. I think this is
Right,
the opportune time for us to sit back and evaluate what we can do because we're talking about
right,
money moves. So
right.
tell us some different things that when it comes to money moves, how can we begin to use this time to generate more funding, more money in
Right.
our pockets?
Interesting, Latonya. After I got off the phone with you yesterday, I spoke to one of my good friends. His career is as a barber. He owns barber shops throughout the country, and of course, you know that his business has been severely impacted. And he told me, he says,
Yes.
Constance, in the last 2 weeks, I brought in $8,000. I said, what did you do? He literally set up shop and started to make the face masks, and then he did guerrilla style marketing, meaning that he's going in front of Walmart, Stater Brothers, Target, and he's selling his mask for $5. And in 2 weeks, he made $8,000. Now he's shipping his masks like East Coast. They're calling him, hey, can you send me 500? So now he's actually hired 7 ladies who are just full time making masks. So he's actually created jobs in this time. He hired 7 ladies who are making masks full time. He's cleared net 8,000 in 2 weeks. 2 weeks, Latanya. That's an
In
example of
2 weeks,
somebody who
selling masks.
pivoted. He did a complete pivot from cutting hair to hiring ladies. He doesn't know how to sew. He hired ladies, started with one lady, now he got 7, and he's clearing net $8,000 in 2 weeks. So that's entrepreneurship for you, right? And he got that, yeah, in 2 weeks. And so, I mean, he's going to be clearing $16,000. This pandemic is going to last at least 90 days so for the next 90 days, he's going to be bringing in $16,000 a month. I mean, that's not bad.
That ain't bad at all. I mean,
No.
seriously. Plus, just plus he employed people.
Right. And he's employing people and he used to cut hair. So if he can pivot, so can so many other people can pivot. That's just one example. Another example is that people are staying home, right? So why not create a webinar series on a skill set you already know? Lantana, you and I were talking about that I'm going to launch my free LinkedIn webinar series of how to navigate LinkedIn and how to use that to find your next opportunity. That's another way that being at home, you can create content. And even if people don't buy your content, if you have enough subscribers and enough views, guess what? Google will pay you for it. And so
They'll pay you for it.
monetizing through like YouTube and creating content is another way that people can easily build an audience online. And even if they're not selling a bunch of the materials, they can make the money off of ads, right? So that's another way that you can make money now in this crisis.
Right. And see, and so that's why, Constance, even on yesterday, I shared inside the community, and I think I put it up on YouTube as well. Develop your YouTube channel.
Right,
Because if you don't develop a channel, and then when opportunity comes, now you're
right,
still fibbling, trying to figure out now I don't even have a channel yet.
right,
What am I supposed to do now? And so that's why so many people, these are different things that people can do to begin to generate
right.
money, different types of ways. And so
Exactly.
I also know another person that started selling masks, and they're doing it online
Right.
as well.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
So
And
people
so you
just
can do it online, or
basically,
you can go to, like, where, like, he literally goes in front of the grocery stores and he's obviously got his gloves on, and people are like literally walking up to him, give me 10, give me 20, give me, and he's selling out, and so yeah, that's one way. If you can
I
make
do it. Right. I would
homemade
do it.
sanitizers. Yeah.
Right. And yeah, because I do know some people, okay, whoever's on this line, I know some people are on here that are doing body and that. That's one thing that you all have to consider. Have you considered making home sanitizer? I mean,
Right.
seriously. And that's part of what you say, Constance. That's part of learning how to manipulate or monetize the situation that we're in now, which is a great way to even um, teach ourselves how to jump in as entrepreneurs.
Right. Right. And if anything, it's a good time for you to prepare for when this thing is going to end, right? So it's going to come to an end.
Yeah.
We know that, look, Latanya, the numbers don't lie. We're looking at over 27 million people going to be unemployed. The service industry is going to be impacted. A lot of businesses that folks are in are not going to come back. They just won't come back to the
Nope.
extent that they were pre this pandemic. And so this is a good time to say, if my industry was not going to come back, say, for example, you're in the travel space, what can you pivot it into if you're in travel right now? Because we know that travel space is going to be impacted for a long time. So how can you use your skill set to
Right.
maybe help target maybe higher end people who can travel, right? So for that travel agent, for example, a good use of your time is, look, we know that after this thing is over, people are going to spend money, but the super rich. And so are you already, building your Facebook funnels to attract to those millennials who actually have the money to travel? I mean, one of the
Right.
things that I was saying is that the first thing I'm going to do when this thing is over is get on a plane and go somewhere. So even if you're in the travel space, even if your industry is going to be impacted, it doesn't mean it's going to go away. It means that you have to now just
Right.
focus on finding that customer who can afford to travel when this thing is over. Right. So it doesn't have to be either or. They don't have to completely like leave travel. They just have to target or retarget a little bit differently to attract that high end person who's going to get on a plane right after this thing is done.
Right. Because it's so true. Because I know for me right now, I'm even thinking like I'm ready to go somewhere. I mean, and that's real talk for me. And so you're right. And so for you all, it's a matter of, don't sit back on it and say, "Woe is
Right.
me." Evaluate. Okay, when this thing is over, because it will be over.
Right.
What do I need to do right now?
Right.
How do I prepare myself right now so I'm ready when the influx comes through? And
Yeah.
so, I'm glad you're saying that,
Yeah.
Constance, because
Yeah.
people just need that spark. Like, okay, this is what I need to jump into,
Right. Right.
so I
Right.
can be prepared, so I can be ready. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, so we know, even to add on that, we know that consumer products are going to be impacted in general, right? People are going to more
Yeah,
perishables like food and things like that. So somebody who
right.
is already familiar with, say, making body butters can pivot into maybe making a supplement or some sort of body butter that has medicinal purposes. So people are going to, they're
Yeah,
concerned about the immune system. So could you take your body butter and make it
yeah,
more medicinal that could help with the respiratory system, for example? So you could have the same
right.
product, but just change it a bit that is relevant to what we're going through right now, which is, I mean, I'm investing heavily in eucalyptus, lavender, things like that that have medicinal benefits. So I'm just
Wow.
wondering, another way to look at it is to take your existing product and see, can you spin it that it becomes more of a necessity item versus just like a consumable?
And that is, and yeah, I'm glad you're saying that too. And especially, and then too, what would you say to those people who out there who are in the service industry?
Yeah.
Basically, for me, I think service industry is still a product. I mean, that's just my thought, because I have to sell me. I'm the product, or the company is the
Right.
product. Now, what do you say to people out there who are in the service industry, or consultants? And
Yeah.
I know for me, I go out and I do, and I train. And so
Right.
right now, because there's no necessity to get out,
Hmm.
but what I ended up doing, there's still webinars that I can do. Hey, Pat,
Yeah.
there's still webinars that I can jump on, and I do. And
Right.
so it's the little things. So what do you say to those people, even in the service industry, who are trying to figure out, what can I do because
Right.
I'm a trainer or I am a consultant? What would you say
Right.
to that?
First, I'll say patience. Patience number one. That we need to be patient and we need to be calm, because when you're calm, you can think clearly. And so with people who are in the
Mhm.
service industries, especially say a consultant who gets paid from speaking, like your whole, compensation is tied to you speaking. Well, you have to find a way to
Yeah,
monetize online. Like, for example, in my case, creating content that I can use on my YouTube channel and building my YouTube audience, so then Google Ads starts to pay me for that work. So it's going to be really pivoting, but I want to encourage the service people to continue to network very heavily on LinkedIn, just like your business prospecting. So still have your target list of 500 leaders that you want to network, and start to build a relationship now, so that when all of this settles down, you are a familiar name to them. See, a lot of the mistake that a lot of consultants are doing right now is that they've stopped business development altogether. And that this is not the time to
right.
stop business development. This is the time to increase your business development, because those leaders have more time to read your emails, to respond. Like right before I got on the call with you, Latanya, I had a 50-minute call with a vice president of a Fortune 100 company. And I just literally sent him a LinkedIn message and said, hey, how's the organization coping around what's going on with COVID? Are you open to a 15-minute call as to, how I can potentially not only help you now, but in the future? Right. So obviously, he was on the phone with me and honestly like, hey, we're not hiring right now. However, this is what we're thinking about strategically. So let's connect back in 90 days from now or 4 months. But if you don't business develop now, you're not going to have the opportunity 6 months from now. And that's what people are not getting, is that they've stopped doing business development because nobody is buying. But that's not the right thing to do. You actually should double down on your business development. You should go
Right.
harder on your business development right now, not reduce, so that at least you're in a position 6 months from now to have those contracts.
Ready. And I'm glad you brought that up, Constance. Even like you said, you had your 50-minute call just
Yeah.
before we jumped on here. Because
Right.
even with that, I told you I had to run out,
Right.
and then I got back in. But before I did that, I literally sent an email out to the industry, my Inland Empire industry, just checking up on them, because most of them are
Right.
teachers. They're
Right.
heads of departments. they're
Hmm.
running, universities. And
Right.
so I literally sent them out an email just to say,
Yeah.
hey, how are you doing? Checking up on you, giving them
Right.
some little tidbits, because what
Right.
I do know is many of them are online and they're instructing from home to
Right.
students. And
Right.
so, like we talked about content, so
Right.
I created content just talking about that, because I also have 3 YouTube channels, y'all. I'm telling
Right.
y'all got to get online. I literally
Right.
was able to pull up a past informative training, and
Right.
I embedded that into their email j-
Wow.
to stay connected.
Right.
And so, even talk about that. Let's talk about that even more, Constance, because we
Right.
can't sit down on our butts and just be still. You got to get out there and do some
No,
work,
you can't. And
because
right.
it will be over.
Right, exactly. And you know what? Speaking of work, for example, I'll tell you one of the platforms that I use, and I just started to use this, you guys, this week. So I'm not going to claim to be an expert, but it's called Sizzle, right? And it's uh, a place where you can upload your YouTube video, and you can monetize it for any amount. Like, so for example, I put like $50 against one of my YouTube videos, and in return, I got like 2,000 views, right? So it's a question of when
Right.
you get that stimulus money, what are you going to do with it? I'm hoping that people are setting some money
Repeat that.
aside
Repeat
to
that.
invest in technologies like Ulink, which allows you to speak to 500 or 1,000 people on LinkedIn at one time, and do
Yeah.
autoresponders with that. I hope that they're investing in platforms like Scissor, where you can monetize your YouTube video. I hope people take 50% of that stimulus money, or 10% or 1%, whatever they can afford, and invest that in that brand, because we're going to get out of this. It's going to be a rough year,
Yeah.
no doubt, but the people who are going to
Right.
win are the people who are working hard now. Those are the people who are
That
going
are
to
doing
win.
it right now.
Those are the
And
ones,
that's real talk. And
yeah, yeah,
that's real. Who's working
right,
now? You're the ones who are going to win. And so and I'm glad we're talking about this, Constance. And
right,
so, because so many people are going, oh, woe it's me. But honey, get
right,
to work and
yeah,
talk. Even when you're talking about, you have to. So you guys, even when you get that stimulus, whoever's, if you get the stimulus check, but even if you don't get the stimulus
right,
check, take
right,
your unemployment money and
right,
invest in you, invest in
right,
your business. And one thing that I'm learning, Constance, a lot of
right,
these things are literally coming down on their pricing.
right,
So people you may have something, a software or platform where they may have
right,
charged previously $500. They may be only charging $100.
right,
Let's talk more in regards to investing in that.
yes.
Okay, somebody said, what's the name of that platform? What's the name of that platform again, Constance? Can you
Which one?
spell it?
Okay, so the two platforms that I'm using, I use Ulink, Ulinc. Ulink is great because it allows you, and you can get a plan as cheap as $35, but it allows you to literally, through LinkedIn Navigator, you do have to have a LinkedIn Navigator platform, but it allows you to literally reach out to 1,000 people on LinkedIn, and auto sequence,
Okay.
meaning that I can send them messages for the next year on this platform. It's amazing. You do need to have a Sales Navigator subscription for that, but it's amazing. Like right now, as we speak, it's just okay. Let me just backtrack. When I started to use this app called Ulink, I was probably at 1,500 connections on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Latanya, I have close to 8,000 now on just LinkedIn, just using this
Come on,
app with
y'all.
very
See?
specific messaging. And it's literally sending
Right.
hundreds of connections a day, and it's giving my target audience very specific instructions on how to engage with me. So that's one. The other one is Scissor, and I'll send you this afterwards. What I love about this one allows
Spell
me
it for
to
me,
upload.
Constance.
I'll send it to you. Yeah, and it allows you to
Okay.
literally upload your YouTube video. Like for example, I just started this one very recently. I uploaded a YouTube video, paid fifty
Right.
dollars, and it returned 2,000 engagements just off of that. And the key to making money on YouTube is simple. You have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000
Yeah.
views. And so I'm building my YouTube audience as we speak now, because I only had like 200 or so subscribers or even less. But watch, in 90 days, guys, I'm telling you, somebody take me on this challenge. I am going to meet that threshold for to be able to be
I
paid
might
by
jump on
Google.
that challenge. I think I'm gonna jump
Like,
on that challenge, Constance. I mean, real
yeah,
talk, because we might as well.
and we have to
What else
challenge
you
each
gonna do?
other. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
And I want to challenge anybody else, whether you're watching this. I don't know who's over there on YouTube because I can't see, but I know inside the group. You know what? We got to base. We have to challenge one another because
right,
this is what we can do. This is what we are. We're entrepreneurs out here making you, and you're still making a difference by providing
right,
information to people who need what you have to offer. Come on,
exactly.
y'all. We can do this. Do this.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And so let's walk this out. So say, for example, you start your YouTube channel. Like, for example, this is what I'm going to do. So you guys feel free to just mirror me. I've never done this before. I'm going to start to do it
Uh-huh.
this week. So just you can follow along what I'm doing. So first is I'm going to teach people how to use LinkedIn effectively to land the next job, right? I'm a recruiter. This is what I do. Jobs are my business. So
Right.
that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to host those videos on YouTube. So all those videos are going to be on YouTube, but I'm going to do them as a webinar series, right? Because then when I
Yes.
have 10 of those, I can pull those all together to actually have an online course. So the same content I'm putting on YouTube, I can pull together because I'm putting it on YouTube as a webinar, right? So I'm putting it on YouTube as a webinar.
Right.
So then I can pull it together, bundle it up in a nice, pretty, concrete delivery, and then sell it as a program. So the same content recycled. Then, if I achieve my goal of getting to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 views, on top of me making money off of the webinar series, now Google will pay me back a portion of the ads that are running around my content. So just by doing that, I've built two separate streams of income. And then if I
Right.
continue and persistent, then I can now go to LinkedIn and say, hey, do you want to sponsor my YouTube channel? Look, I have 10 videos that have had 10,000 views, all based on your product.
Right.
Are you willing to be a sponsor? So now I have three sources of income based off of one delivery. Does that make sense?
Come on,
Yeah,
y'all. That's how it, and that's how you monetize and you make
right.
money moves and you make money while you are sleeping. It's just that it
Exactly.
doesn't have to be difficult, you guys, but you got to do
Right.
the work prior to. So this is
Right.
the
Right.
right time. And if you
Yeah.
guys have any questions or you need to be coached through,
Yeah.
contact Constance because I want Constance to give up her information as well. This is why I always say, you guys, you got to be around folk that can help you up level.
Right.
If you're around everyone who's just trying to pull from you and they don't know anything and they're at the same level, you're not gonna up
Right.
level. You're not gonna
Right. Right.
upgrade. And now you're sitting around saying, "Woe is me. What am I supposed to do?" But she's
Right.
telling you right now, like just like we were saying, you got to start doing the work. And not that we're trying to bash you, but this is your challenge. It's the challenge
Right.
to start doing the work now. So when opportunity comes, you are so ready for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
And that's it. So Constance, I want
Yeah.
you share your information where people can find you. And I know on LinkedIn, she's on LinkedIn. You guys, you can find her by just what is it under
Right.
Meet Constance or
Right. Just
Constance Moonzwe?
Constance Moonzwe
Mm-hmm.
on LinkedIn. On YouTube, it's Meet Constance. So Meet Constance is my sort of name on YouTube.
On
My
YouTube.
website is
Okay.
meetconstance.com. And my email address is constance@meetconstance.com. So just literally my name, my variations of my name, you can find me. And definitely, you guys watch my journey. Like I said, I am starting just like with everybody else, really young on
Right.
YouTube, not
We all are.
really ever monetizing my videos. So this is scary for me as well. See, and that's the thing about things that are new and different. It's scary, right? And it's difficult.
Right.
And this is why, we have to do it together so we can cheer each other on and be like, hey, Latanya, I see that your videos went up. Let's tag and share and all of that. And also, Latanya, one thing that is really
Right.
important that we don't do very well in our community is that monetize and pay for your stuff. Like, for example, if you're just sharing your YouTube video among your Facebook audience, you're not going to make it. Not at this stage. I mean, now Tony Robbins can do that because he
It
has a
ain't
million
working. It's
followers.
not gonna work. We talked about
But
that yesterday. It's not gonna work. Mm-mm.
it's not going to work. You have to put money behind ads, even if it's $10,
Mm-hmm.
$50, or $100. Look, people like Gary Vee and all of these guys spend millions of dollars in ads. And who are we not to spend not even nothing? We spend like nothing on ads,
Right.
but all the people who are actually making money in this space do not do it organically. Very few people
And
have achieved great financial success on YouTube organically. They take a percentage of their profits and they reinvest it in ads. And somehow for
right.
us, we feel like that's not being authentic. No, the thing is your audience is global. So how are you
It's
going to reach a
global.
global person if you don't pay for that ad?
Everywhere.
Right.
Exactly. You're not going to do it. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I have already purchased like two programs from people that I am clueless about. I think some, I
Right.
don't know where they're from, but I saw the sponsor that, and I mean it was what I needed. And
Right.
because they came down on them prices, I purchased it because I know
Right.
I need it, especially for me in the fall. I'm going into the classroom. And
Right.
so for what I know that I'm going to be instructing on, even though we have books, there's certain things that I still want to know. And
Right.
so I invested once again in myself and I purchased the product. And so
Right.
it's like you were saying, just like for us, if we want people to purchase and we want to monetize and make money moves, we're gonna have to spend some money.
We have to spend some
So
money,
take them stimulus
and that's a
checks.
good way, right? And that's with the unemployment checks being higher. People be making $1,000 or more
Right.
with unemployment now. With the stimulus check, I just want to encourage people. I know it's scary, and I know the temptation is to take the majority of the money and put it under our mattress, and that's fine. Take some of it, put it under your mattress, but reinvest in your brand. This is a good time to do it because think Google just announced that they're going to be giving, what was it, $120 million in free Google ads. People should be signing up for that. Like
Oh, snap.
contact
Okay.
Facebook and say,
Wow.
hey, Facebook, are you giving a discount on your ads? Contact Instagram.
Right.
We need to ask, like we need to ask. I just actually, I'll send this to you for the group as well. But Google did announce that they were giving
Right.
$120 million worth of free ads to small businesses. So that stuff we should be
Y'all better
applying
jump
for
on that.
anyway. You
I'm about to
invest our
jump on
own money
that.
and
And the
get
reason
help.
why,
Yeah.
right. And the reason why I'm about to jump on that, you guys, and we talked about YouTube and everything else, because I'm ready. You can't
Right.
don't get this is the
Right.
time. Get your stuff together because now you
Right.
got content to share. And
Right.
so, like you said, we ain't talking for our health. We can be out there
No.
doing when I get off this call, I got stuff to do for the business. And so
Exactly.
I'm excited about that. And so, Constance, yeah, give us your last words on this afternoon. I am so glad. We can go
Yeah.
on and on and on and on.
I know.
We got
My
to do it
last word
again.
is like
But
I
give us
understand
your
that
last words. Mhm.
I understand that it's scary. I understand that people are devastated. Entire businesses have vanished overnight. But if you have a choice to
Yeah,
think negative or positive, I want to encourage you to think positive. I want to encourage you to
yeah,
say, look, I don't know where I'm going to necessarily, I don't know how I'm going to pay my bills 4 months from now, 2 months from now, 2 days from now. But if you have a choice, then I want you to use your brain power to figure out how you can pivot, how you can upskill, how you can completely do your business differently. Like my friend who went from cutting hair to selling masks and making $8,000 in 2 weeks. Like, let's use our brain to not go into panic mode and fear mode, and let's use our brain to say, how can I do something now that really scares me, that I'm not uncomfortable, but maybe there's a 10% chance that it can change my life
right.
for the rest of my life. And it's really a mindset thing that we're dealing with, and we have to fight through it. It's not easy, Latanya. It's not easy when you don't know how you're going to pay your rent next month, but we have to
Right,
fight through that,
right.
because either way, if you can't pay your rent today, you're not going to be able to pay tomorrow. So you might as well invest that energy in trying to rebuild your business or completely pivot in a way that can get you somewhere in the future. And so the people who
Yeah,
work now are going to pay it will be paid back to them tenfold months down the road.
Tenfold. So that means at the end of the day, y'all, let's get busy and let's
Yeah.
challenge one another to do what we need to do. Discipline yourselves. Get up in the
Yes.
morning. We can't sleep
Yes.
all day. Otherwise, the day
No.
is already gone. And now you're trying to figure out, okay, well, I didn't get it done today, so I might as well wait till tomorrow.
Right.
Jump into the habit. Get up and get the
Right.
work done. And then, I
Right.
mean, you could take the rest of your afternoon or what, evening and enjoy
Right.
yourselves, but don't get into bad habits. Yeah. That's what I
Right.
think, Constance. So, Constance, you will have soon something on LinkedIn. You're going to be doing a training on LinkedIn?
Right. I'm going to use YouTube, but I'm going to train people on how to navigate LinkedIn. How can you use LinkedIn not only for your job search if you're gainfully employed or you've been recently unemployed, but also too, maybe Latanya do some videos for some business owners on how they can maximize their network on LinkedIn. Maybe I'll do a couple of those for just the community and stuff, because that may be a good way. Show people how I've grown my audience on LinkedIn as well. So we can definitely talk about that.
Yeah, yeah. I say let's go for it. We got time to do it. So we're
Yeah.
mostly at home unless we go into the grocery store. That's the new social club.
It's a new yard house.
It's a new yard house. And so once again, Constance, thank you so much
Yeah.
for
Thank you.
sharing your this always great information on how we can
Thanks.
make money moves even during this pandemic, because it will not be on forever. It's going to
Right.
end. The question is, will you be ready, and will you have upgraded your program? Will you have upgraded what you have to the
Right.
next level? Because some people are
Right.
going to fall off, and we don't want you all to, fall off. We're
Right.
preparing you right now. So once again, Constance, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You guys want to find Constance? She's in the community. She's on YouTube. She's on LinkedIn. Just as we say, Google her and you can find Constance. And if you want to send her an email, Constance, if people want to get in touch with you, what is your email address as well?
So my direct email is constance@meetconstance.com. And so that email comes
Okay.
directly to me. And definitely, this is a time to share all the content that I'll be posting will be free until I start to bundle it. So this is a really good time to just
Right.
follow what I'm doing, learn, and let's help each other grow. Let's help each other grow. So
Right.
when we're out of this, we're actually on top.
Right. And you guys go to her YouTube channel. She has some amazing information already up. It's
Yeah.
there. Go there and get all the information you need to up level even in your business. All right.
Yeah.
So once again, Constance, thank you so much. Thank
Thank
you to
you.
you all who are watching in our community over on on YouTube Live. We appreciate you all so very much. You definitely stay safe.
Yes.
Stay connected. We want to
Yep.
hear from you. All right. God bless you
Thank you.
guys,
Bye,
and talk
everybody.
to you again very soon.